So let's begin. After getting yourself into a relaxed learning state, which should always be the first thing you do at the beginning of any study section, to hack an article, you should follow this set of hacking steps. Step 1. Analyse the heading. The heading of an academic article obviously signals whether or not the article is even within your subject field, but the heading does so much more than that. It signals the main concerns of the work that you'll be looking at. So let's consider two examples. Here's our first example, taken from a 2003 article. Who are Law's persons, from Cheshire Cats to responsible subjects? Now let's see why analysing the heading is so helpful. The heading here tells us that the main concern of the article is the question, who are Law's persons? That first part of the title alerts us to the possibility that there's some lack of clarity or room for debate concerning the issue of who Law's persons are. The second part of the title, from Cheshire Cats to responsible subjects, tells us several other things too. Let's see how this works. First, let's analyse the reference to a Cheshire Cat. The Cheshire Cat is a fictional cat from the book Alice in Wonderland. The original Cheshire Cat could appear and disappear at will. So what work is the Cheshire Cat doing in this article heading? First, it drives at fiction, and secondly, it drives at materialisation and dematerialisation. The implication seems to be that there's a form of legal person with such characteristics. Next, notice that the author writes from Cheshire Cats to responsible subjects. This language implies a spectrum of some kind, something that begins at one end with Cheshire Cats and moves to responsible subjects at the other. So now if we add the two parts of the title together and add our analysis, we can already deduce a fair amount about the likely coverage of the article. The author will be looking at who Law's persons are and exploring the fact that some persons are like fictions and can dematerialise and rematerialise, while at the other end of the scale we have responsible subjects, whatever those turn out to be, and certainly they're probably a more fixed thing or a less fictional thing than the Cheshire Cat-like kind of legal person. That's plenty of initial information just from an analysis of the title. Obviously, we need to check our initial deductions later when we read the article more closely, and we won't for the purposes of this lesson. But what I want you to notice here is how many significant clues you have in hand merely from analysing the title of the article in less than a minute of your time. So let's turn now to the heading of the article we're going to use as our working example, which is a lot less mysterious. The heading is presented as a question. Do human rights help or hinder environmental protection? Well, we don't need much deductive power to know what this article is about, do we? Which is why it wasn't the best learning example for hacking headings. Still, this heading, like all headings, needs to be there in your mind as you follow all the other steps of hacking academic articles. It's a framing insight. It matters. So let's dive further in.